Hello everyone, it's Duckferin07. Today I'm playing the Zoo Rescaminator brew. Okay, so this is the list playing 4 Troll of Khazad-dûm. Initially I had 4 Carnosaurs trimmed to 3. I think like 3 is optimal because I wanted to add some more interaction like Thoughtseize, more molten collapses, more removal, stuff like that. Okay, so I came to these numbers and I really liked this one. Okay, so I built this brew not just to make a verse scum deck, but to actually see if this can be even more powerful than the scam. Okay, so having the persist, so I came to some conclusions. Okay, so immediately when I posted this list, Andrea Mengucci saw it and immediately played it on the stream, did great with it. Said it was the fastest 4-1 of his life. I also finished 2 4-1 lists with this brew, and it worked very great. So the persist was really strong. So having just 4 undying spells wasn't that impactful because I had the persists, which also helped me to scam my elementals on turn 2. It is not the same thing, of course, but you still get the lot of value, and you still get the value, you still get the double ability. Of course, it is the difference if your creature comes out with a -1 counter and a +1 counter, but this is not the exact same deck. This is a bit different deck that also has some other tools which can prevail in mid-game and in the late game. So thanks to the Carnosaur and the Troll of Khazad-dûm, these are all pretty good late game tools which can win you the game if you hard cast this on turn 5, turn 6. Troll is very hard to block. You can reanimate it turn 2 with persist, like finding a land. Also this version is playing a bit more lands. We have 18 here plus 4 trolls, that is basically 22, but we are playing only 18, and the troll is often gets really hard casted in this deck, so it's a nice tool you can use here. Also persisting the troll on turn 2 has been very efficient, and the Carnosaur also, when you persist this guy, it discovers 5, so it's not like Cascade, you don't have to cast it. When it enters the battlefield it discovers, and card you discover, you can choose to immediately play it for without paying its mana cost, or you can put it into your hand. So if you cascade into a spell you don't want to cast, like Not Dead After All or Thoughtseize, you can just put it into your hand and use it later. Okay, so it's not mandatory, and that is why it's good. So you can cascade or discover into some strong spells like Fury, Grief, Fable, Bowmaster, Molten Collapse, Ragavan, but you can also discover into Not Dead After All, which you will not cast immediately, but put it into your hand and then use it again later in the game, and that can also be powerful at some point. So that ability is very good. So we have 2 Thoughtseize in the main, 2 Thoughtseize on the side, 2 bolts, 3 molten collapses. Molten collapse has been huge. This card is extremely strong in a lot of matchups. It's just so much better than any other removal in these colors ever printed. It's just very good. You really want to play like at least 2 of collapse in the main, in any version of scam or Rakdos. But yeah, okay, so other than that, it is the exact same scam deck, just the Thoughteize are on the sideboard, and that's it. A Carnosaur can be awkward at times if you're playing against a deck that doesn't have creatures, or really doesn't have much creatures, so you're not able to discard it unless you have to have target for it. So, but most decks in a modern have some creatures, you can use this and you have no problems discarding it. And when you persist it, it's really powerful, 7/6 Trampler, and that really wins games, and discover on ETB is like really strong. Okay, so that is it. Let's check out the gameplay. Okay, so match 1. Match 1 starting first. Let's see. Keeping a decent hand. I have a persist, I have Not Dead After All, I don't have elemental right now in hand, but this can end up being pretty powerful if I top deck anything. Opponent goes for Grief, just discards my persist, passing the turn, so this means this is probably a living end, of course. So I'm on the play, luckily, and I'm able to go for the Bowmaster here. As I said, I can't unfortunately discard the Carnosaur right now, unless I target my own creature, which can also be like decent. Sometimes you will discard Carnosaur, kill your own creature like Bowmaster, then they will resolve the Carnosaur, but you'll get it back, and also the creature you killed. So it can be really strong play against a living end that can bring you the game. And also just, okay, so you are not playing Doughty, which makes you think that your matchup will be worse, but also you're playing Troll and Carnosaur, which put themselves into the graveyard without any setup, so you can just cycle them, put them into the graveyard, and opponent goes for living end and you just get these guys back. So in response to Grief, I discarded, played my Undying spell, so opponent had to discard the Carnosaur. So even if they go for the living end, I have two pretty big creatures in the graveyard, and now I have even another troll, and the trolls are very, as you could see, very hard to block. So even if they go for living end, I think I still win here. And also another Undying spell is decent, so that's it. Opponent untaps and concedes. That is the game one. I have ley lines on the sideboard, so that is kind of my post-board game plan. Just trimming some persist. I don't really expect to persist. I keep one. It's like I don't really want to persist. I want to let my big creatures like stay in the graveyard. So that is the reason why I'm trimming on the persist. I want the Undying spell, but I really want to leave the big creatures in the graveyard. Don't want to use persist on them, unless it's for a Grief, of course, to discard card from their hand. And Fable is kind of too slow, especially on the draw, so don't really need those. Also Molten Collapses are pretty useful here, because I'm trying to win. Okay, yeah, I completely brain farted here. I forgot my opponent has a Fury in the graveyard, so even if I sack my Doubt in response, they get the Fury back, so it doesn't do anything. I had to pitch cast the Grief here, try to see if I can take something. I didn't do it. This costed me the game. Luckily not a match. Yeah, but this was a clear misplay. I completely forgot they have Fury in the graveyard. Okay, so this is like as strong as it gets against living ends. If they can beat this, like they can beat anything. It's almost impossible for them to beat this. So I have a turn 0 Chalice of the Void, into turn 2 Doughty Voidwalker, into turn 3 Blood Moon, into also discarding Troll, and later I can discard the Carnosaur too. Actually opponent has the Foundation Breaker to kill my Chalice, but I put a Blood Moon on the field and I have a very good clock already there. So even if they go for the living end, I can, as I already said, I can discard my Carnosaur, kill my Doughty, and that is pretty much game over. Okay, so I also just pitch casted the Fury just in case they top deck something. And yeah, holding my Not Dead After All to cast on Doughty too. And that is it. Opponent concedes very powerful plays in this game 3, and that was the match. Okay, so let's check out wins first, and then we'll watch the defeat in the end. And yeah, okay, let's go check out the match 2. Okay, so I have two scam effects. I have a Fury. So the power of the persist can often be just scamming your turn 1 elemental, and then they kill it, and then you just persist it. That's often can be like extremely powerful. Okay, so yeah, didn't have the red card after they discarded the Grief. So I scammed the Fury on turn 2 and persisted my Grief. Yeah, the persist is like really useful here. I took my opponent, the only card that was usable for them at this point, and I had a very good clock on the field, and my opponent concedes. Okay, so let's check out the game 2. Okay, so let's see the sideboarding plan. Orcish Bowmasters pretty useless in this matchup. I definitely want to Thoughtseize instead of them. Again, trimming on the persists. Trimming one Carnosaur because except for the Asmo, I don't really have targets for it. Also bolts. Not that useful. I just left 2 Carnosaurs in case they play like Fable, Asmo, stuff like that, which I can just kill. And okay, so I know what my opponent has because I played the Thoughtseize, and they have Profane Tutor resolving. They have Yargle in hand. I can't discard reanimation spell because they'll find it from the Profane Tutor, so I can't do anything here. They have 18 damage next turn with Yargle. I don't have removal for it, so that is the game. I concede very quick games against Goryo's Rakdos Reanimator as usual, and that was it. Same sideboarding plan as before, and I keep a double scam hand. I go for a Grief turn 1. I really wanted to go for a Doughty as soon as I can. I took Bolt and Profane Tutor from my opponent's hand, leaving them with basically nothing, just another Profane Tutor. They suspend, but yeah, they're really limited with turns to survive. I have like, this is almost a 2-turn clock. They have their Profane Tutor resolving next turn, but that could very easily be too late. But they find the Orcish Bowmaster there to kill my Grief, and then they resolve the Tutor. Tutor probably used to find a removal for my Doughty Voidwalker, and that's it. So I hardcast the Grief, getting rid of the Brotherhood's End. They were missing mana to cast the Kragan, also didn't have any payouts in their hand for it, and the Grief was 2-turn clock and won me the game there. That was it. Okay, so that was a match. Very quick games against Rakdos Goryos. So let's check out the match 3. So what is this deck doing is just playing most of the times playing the regular scam game, but also you have ability to turn 1 cycle Troll, then turn 2 persist Troll. Also persist is obviously very strong with like both Fury and Grief. So the persist is never dead. It's like definitely never dead, and ability to get back the Carnosaur and the Troll can sometimes be not sometimes, but often just very relevant. And yeah, so I went for the Bowmaster here. Bowmaster is usually not that great against the scales, but that is only if they start with turn 1 scales. If they don't start with turn 1 scales, then Bowmaster can be like extremely good against them. Okay, I went for the attacks there and just hard casted my Fury, killing both of their creatures, and next turn I have the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki active to copy my Fury. Hopefully for the lethal. Opponent again plays a lot of creatures, puts a 5/5 construct on the field, but I copy the Fury with Reflection of the Kiki-Jiki and pitch cast another Fury to clear the board for the lethal damage, and that is the game. pretty brutal hand here. I had like everything and more than I needed actually. So turn 2 keep the turn 1 Grief Scam followed by turn 2 Doughty Voidwalker. Doughty Voidwalker from the side in this version shuts off their I take their entire hand, they just leaving them with 2 lands, and I have turn 2 Doughty Voidwalker which completely turns off their modular ability. Yeah, so pretty strong start again. Yeah, like a Scam often it's like the best deck in the format, obviously 20% of the meta game, and the stuff that Scam is doing is like really disgusting sometimes. And I was just interested to see if this new potential to play, I really want every deck to play the best version of itself, and I was really interested to see if I can upgrade, if there's potential for this to work in the Scam matchup, in the Scam archetype, like combining Reanimator with a Scam. It was always something that I found like had fun doing, and I think it works pretty good here. And okay, so that was the match, very quick match against the Scales. Also, Scales is not a great matchup for Scam, but maybe like having a persist for Troll, more of these like, let's say, Scam spells, having a Troll and the Carnosaur as additional removal, that can also be very strong persist target, that can maybe affect this matchup significantly. Okay, so I was playing against Junt, Senator Eater. They went Ragavan Thoughtseize. I also went Thoughteize, discarding Grist from their hand, so they left with Wrenn 6 and Orcish Bowmaster. I had 2 Furies in my hand and a Fable, and my plan was like just hard casting all these cards. So I went for Fable. I didn't want to lose much life, so I just went for basic. Opponent goes Bowmasters, a plus friend ping, passes the turn. Okay, so what I wanted here is just find lands to hard cast these Furies, so I didn't want to discard anything, just cycle the Troll for mana to find the land, pass the turn, that's it. Yeah, so obviously hoping to find that second land. I have my Fable flipping next turn. If I can get the land to hardcast my Fury, that is like really where I want to be, and I find the land I needed, so I can go either kill the Bowmaster or kill the Wrenn. I decided to get rid of Wrenn right now. Bowmaster is not a great threat for me right now. They had Giganta in hand and they played it, so now I'm able to hardcast my second Fury, deal 2 damage to Giganta and kill their chump blockers. So this means they can't really block with Giganta this turn effectively, so I put them on 5 life, and next turn I have lethal. But they play the Goyf and I find the Troll, so sometimes hard casting the Troll of Khazad-dûm can be really good. And yeah, my opponent also finds the Bowmaster, so we were kind of like stuck now in just passing the turns, trying to find which player top decks better. I just get another land from the top, so I just didn't play it, just leave it in my hand. Opponent also passing. Goyf is huge, 7-8 right now. I get the Carnosaur here. Carnosaur discovers into Thoughtseize. I discard Fatal Push from my opponent's hand. Fatal Push wasn't really relevant here, but could be like if the game lasted more. But I got another Fury immediately from the top, and that third Fury was too much and ended the game, so that was it. Okay, let's check out the game 2. like this Carnosaur, if imagine like a turn 5 or just having 5 mana, whatever, and persist in your hand and top decking the Carnosaur. So in this situation you will be able to cycle it, deal 3 damage to any target, then persist it, get back the 6/5 Trampler, which discovers 5 and has potential to cascade into really strong target. Okay, so turn 2 game 2 I turn 1 scam Grief, taking both Vrens from their hand, so they had just a bunch of hands, bunch of lands and Shadow Spear. Not a great position, and I was able to follow up with the turn 2 Doughty Voidwalker. Okay, so again, let's see the sideboarding plan. Orcish Bowmaster and Ragavan are like decent, but not that great actually in this matchup. Vreng, they also play like probably Bowmasters and Vren, and these cards easily ping my creatures and kill them. Also trimming on 1 persist, 1 not dead after all, and opponent, I also trimmed all of the Thoughtseizes there. I always don't really like the much Thoughtseizes, especially on the draw against another discard deck or a mid-range deck, so I bought those out and that was it. Okay, so opponent, yeah, this was like the best start from Scam, and opponent didn't have solutions for it and concede. That was it. Let's check out the last match of this league. I only played 2 leagues with this deck. I know this deck is good. I don't have to use my time to like get the trophy with it or whatever. So I know this deck is good, and it's basically a scam. Just this persist package with trolls and carnosaurs. This can be too bad, but in these situations I've really kept a bad hand here. So this was my second match of the league, and yeah, I kept really mediocre hand, and this was not keepable for most standards. And yeah, my opponent didn't have anything. This is like turn 4. They just didn't have anything. If I had like any decent hand, I would win this. But yeah, it was just too bad. I also played, my opponent still had to get lucky, because I played the Grieve here, I took their ring, and now they didn't have a green mana. They needed green mana to do anything, and they top deck the bounce land they were looking for, and yeah, then I concede. But yeah, if I had like anything like Orcish Bowmaster, I would win this one. They were just not doing anything for first 5 turns. If I had like Ragavan plus Bowmaster, that would be a clear GG. Okay, so I went for a turn 1 Ragavan, pitchcast Grief, take their Dryad, play my Chalice of the Void and pass the turn. Turn 2, playing the Thoughtseize, playing the lands, passing the turn. They only had 2 Tier Sunders, again pretty bad hand for the opponent, but this time I also again just didn't have anything. Yeah, so terrible hands in both of these matches, but Ragavan doing the Ragavan thing. I took their Amulet, but unfortunately just found lands from the top, nothing useful. My opponent now finds the One Ring from top of their library, and that was like really good for them. And of course, big problem for me. I top deck a Thoughtseize, and I wasn't even able to cast that one because of the ring protection. Yeah, the Carnosaurs are not really useful in this matchup, because I don't really have, I need to have a target to discard it, and I don't have much target for it, like it doesn't kill the Dryad, so I boarded it out. I don't really expect to hate the ring that much, so I boarded 1 Bowmaster out, and the Fables are mostly too slow. I needed, I put in like Cast into the Fires for this matchup. two more Thoughtseizes, stuff like that. Chalice of the Void also hates on their Summoner's Pact, but they kind of had everything they needed here. It wasn't that their hand was too good, it was just my hand was like really bad. And there was not good too, but yeah, mine was worse, and that was it. They were able to actually kill their own ring to prevent themselves from dying. Yeah. So that was the game and match, and my only loss in this league, just keeping two pretty terrible hands. Molten Collapses also help significantly in this matchup, helping you to kill the Amulet, but also they are not instant speed, so they can't really kill the Titan before attack or stuff like that. So probably for that matchup, like having split of Collapse and Terminate would be ideal. But yeah, overall Molten Collapse has been very good. Carnosaur and Troll, I don't know how prominent they were in this league, but I played 2 leagues with this deck. Both of them ended up 4-1, and I think I used my persist on Carnosaur and Troll much more in that other league. I didn't show in this video, but yes, often it was like really efficient, and persisting Carnosaur can be like really strong. And also turn 2 persist Troll, it's incredibly powerful. It's a 5-4, very hard to block beater, and if you can follow that up with a few removals, Thoughtseizes, grief, whatever, yeah, it's really strong. Okay, so that is it. Is this better than the regular scam? After further gameplay and further I was like really into the Carnosaur at first. I think it's kind of playable, it's kind of good, but definitely depends on the matchup a lot. Okay, so you saw the matchups in this league. There were not like matchups where Carnosaur is great, like Amulet Titan doesn't do anything there. Living End, it is kind of useful there actually. You can kill your own creature and discard the Carnosaur, so kind of pretty good, but it's also kind of situation dependent. But in this league we didn't really have that aggro matchups where Carnosaur would shine. And yeah, so if you can kill a creature with this for 3 mana, put it into the graveyard, you don't need any setup for this guy, you just pay 3 mana, you do the ability and it goes to the graveyard, you can persist it in a very large powerful threat. It's very good, yeah, that way. Okay, so it's kind of good. It's not bad, it's a great card, but it is definitely matchup dependent. Yeah. Okay, so that is my impression from playing 2 leagues with this brew. Mangu also played a league with this, liked it, and you can also probably check out that's his stream too, and his thoughts on the deck, and that is it for today. Okay, so thank you for watching, hope you liked the video, hope you liked the gameplay. Usual scam stuff, very powerful deck, and yeah, okay, so friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment in the video your thoughts about this Rescaminator version in comparison to the usual scam, and I'm interested to see your gameplay experience with it, and the power level between comparison actually between these 2 variants of a deck. And that is it for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.